right channel. And we are live. All right, guys. If you guys could see us, put comments. Let us know if you could hear us the right way. Also, put comments as well and let us know. This is gonna be our first live stream here in the Rosado Bunch channel. And we want to start doing this every now and then, kind of do like a Q&A or kind of do like a story time kind of thing. This is Stacy's first live event.
It is.
So, what do you know? So it's the first
time.
time.
A little nervous.
A little. Look, we got Gustavo is in the house. Great supporter of my main channel.
Someone did come and watch
Yeah,
us.
he said this is nice surprise. It is a surprise. So, but anyways, today we're gonna talk about here. We're just gonna tell the story. When we had little Manny, and you guys have seen little Manny a lot, right? Because you guys see him pretty much at the beginning of every vlog. You could see Manny, and I figured we could answer questions. So if you guys got questions, definitely put them down, and we're gonna address those questions as we go. But if you're not aware, we have Manny October 4 of 2016.
Yes.
And did I got it right? Yes. I got it right. The light is really sharp, but give me a second. Better?
Yeah.
All right, this is life, guys. This is life. This is how it goes. But we have Manny, October 4 of 2016, and a couple of days after that, the Hurricane Matthews hit here, and at one point it was like really devastating.
It was like 3 days after, 2 or 3 days after.
2 or 3 days after. So we're kind of going to tell the story here. You guys let us know. I'm sure some of you guys have some crazy stories as well. But, so here, let me see.
Oh, it's his brother's birthday.
Oh, that's Gustavo's brother's birthday too. Oh, wow. So you probably, I don't know if you're close to me. So you're probably dealing with the same hurricane stuff as well as we did. But October 3rd, you want to tell the story?
Well, I'll tell some.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Well, in the beginning, it was October 3rd, 3 o'clock in the morning. I got a call from my dad saying that our grandfather actually passed away. Mm-hmm. Oh, hi, Kyle. We're going to say hi to everyone who comes and watches us. So, October 3rd at 3 o'clock in the morning, my father calls me and tells me that my grandfather had passed away. Yeah. So, I was up already at 3 o'clock. Around 6 o'clock, I started getting some little aches in my stomach, and I told Fabian, I was like, I think this might be the beginning of contractions. Given that this is my first child, I wasn't really sure. So I told him, like, baby, start timing them. So he starts timing them, and at first it started at 45 minutes apart. At first I thought it was and I haven't slept, so I've been up since 3 o'clock. Contractions start coming in at 6. And I tell him, I was like, and I had an appointment that day to schedule my induction because I was over also.
And the thing about it was that the great military insurance, you guys know that I left the military, got medically retired from the Marines. For whatever reason, they don't cover anyone around us. So the hospital was about an hour away. So we had to drive from Palm Coast, which is close to Daytona, to Jacksonville, which is, it's exactly 59 minutes. Yeah. So it's not like you could just get up and go to the hospital. I mean, it's an hour away. Now, we were able to go to a regular doctor, a regular hospital.
OB, yeah, in St. Augustine.
If it was, no, I'm talking like to get
like
birth.
Our family practitioner?
No, I'm talking more like if the baby was coming.
Oh, like an emergency. If it was an emergency, we could have went to a local hospital.
Yeah, but it had to be an emergency.
Yeah.
So, sorry, baby, continue.
So we were at, so it was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I started telling him, start timing them because I think I'm going to start having contractions. So I did all the way up until 2 o'clock, and I told him, you know what, let's just head over there because we have an hour. Our appointment, I think, was at 4 o'clock. Yeah. So when I got there, I wasn't in like super pain. It was still tolerable. I told him, I was like, oh, if this is it, I can definitely handle it.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, I remember that.
So I had told him, I was like, yeah, I got this. And then when I got there, they checked me. I wasn't really dilated much, but they said, okay, go walk around for 4 hours because we didn't want to drive all the way back. So they told us, just go walk around for a couple of hours and then come back and get checked again. So when I came back, I think they told me I was at 3, or I gained like 1 centimeter.
Right.
I was gaining, I gained 1 centimeter within 2 hours. And then after that, I kept getting 1 centimeter every hour.
And for some of the boys out there, because we have no idea what this means.
Well, if you're a father, a brother.
Yeah, you probably know by now, but I guess you got to be all the way into 10 in order for the baby
No, for them to admit you, you had to be at least a 4.
Right.
Yeah.
So at this point, we are at the hospital, but we're not officially at the hospital.
Admitted. They can't admit me yet. So they told me to go and walk around and do all that stuff. So at I was gone for 2 hours?
And at the same time, the news is like, Hurricane Matthews is coming and, everybody's going to die kind of thing. So that was kind of scary too.
Yeah, so we got about 2 hours after we left. I was like, okay, let's try to get some food or let's go do something. I just couldn't take it. After 2 hours, I came back. I think that's when I was already at 3. Obviously, I can still walk around, but they were just I was starting to feel them. And I was like, you know what? I don't feel like walking around. Hopefully they can try to admit me. So then I was there for about another hour or so, right? It was about another hour or so. And then the nurse comes back in and says, well, you're at, I think it was still 3 or 3.5, or I barely moved within 2 hours. She's like, well, this could go on for about 2 weeks. I was like, I'm already 41 weeks. How much longer do you want this to go?
And then the doctor was like, well, okay, let me go and talk to the big doctor, right? Yeah. And apparently he walks out and he's gonna go and get this doctor, which is the senior doctor. And apparently something happened, and I'm thinking to myself, me and my mother-in-law are there, and we ain't living. I'm not driving an hour back to Palm Coast to make it here, and then an hour back, right? So by that point, I'm like, we're not leaving. I don't care what you got to do. Go and talk to the senior doctor or whatever. Well, during that, I guess it was an hour.
Yeah.
During that time, when he walks out to go and get this doctor, an emergency happened. I don't know what kind of emergency.
C-section.
It was an emergency C-section. All right, so somebody else in the hospital had an emergency, right? And they had the baby. So that gave us about an hour and a half. So by that point, he comes back about an hour and a half later, and he checks her again. And now at this point, she's ready to be.
Yeah, I was already at 5 centimeters. So okay, we can admit you. So then they moved me into the next room. And from there, every hour, I was going up a centimeter, which I still haven't gotten the epidural because they were still working in the other C-section.
Right,
yeah. She was still working there in the C-section. So I went all the way up till 7.5 or 8 centimeters around there with no epidural. And I was like, no. At this point, I think I was screaming at the nurse to go get the lady for the epidural.
At this point, she's screaming at everyone.
Yeah, and I was hot and cold. And everyone it was just time to get the epidural because I needed to relax.
And it was probably midnight, 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I was up since 3 o'clock that morning, so I was
we're
almost
coming up
up.
in 24 hours?
Yeah, I haven't slept. I've been having contractions all day, literally since 6 o'clock in the morning. My grandfather died. I just needed some type of relief.
Yeah.
Did you ever scream at him doing that to you? No, I didn't.
At one point, she was like, go and get the doctor.
Yeah, I did. I was like, that's enough. You need to go get her.
Yeah.
So which was a little bit probably more. There was probably some screaming.
Yeah. So then she once she got the epidural,
which I didn't feel. My mother had told me that was the thing that was so painful for her. Everyone's pain is different. To me, I didn't even feel the epidural. And I know a lot of women says, it's so awful. You feel it in your spine. My pain at 8 centimeters was enough to just...
Oop, Manny's crying.
The baby's up. My pain at 8 centimeters was a lot. So I didn't feel the epidural at all. Are you going to go grab him?
Yeah. Continue.
So at...
He's almost at the door, Stacey.
He's crawling out the door. Now we put him sometimes on a little mat to take a nap. And he ends up crawling out and just out the door because we put him napping in our room and he crawls out the door to try to find us. Oh, be careful with the cord. Hi, baby. Here he is. We're saying your story.
Yeah, we're talking about you, buddy.
Come here.
So,
right, so we were, I was at when I was getting the epidural. So once I got the epidural, so who does he look like, guys? Comment down below. Who does he look like? With that head, the way he just turns.
So by that time, I think we finally went to sleep.
Yeah.
You finally slept a little bit, and I was able to sleep as well too. My mother said I just flipped out of the crib like a ninja. Yeah, this one is in that process too.
He has a little of both.
Oh, but thanks, man.
Thank you.
By that point, she gets that, so she finally gets some release or some, not so much pain.
Yeah, and I was able to finally rest.
And I pass out. Like, I just, like, die. I think I'm coming on to, 24, 25 hours?
Yeah.
I die. So, at some point around 7 in the morning, remember, guys, we woke up at 3 in the morning. Now, 7 in the morning the next day, the doctor comes in, and what they do is that they could check the baby, like they...
Yeah, because he was stuck in my canal at this point. I was dilated up to 9 centimeters, and he was stuck in the canal for 3 hours. I'm sorry. He was already 3 hours in the canal, so they came and checked his, his heart rate.
Yeah, by touching his head. Like, they could actually touch his head.
They put a little patch on his head, and they're able to tell his heart rate. At this point, every time I would have a contraction, his heart rate was supposed to be going up with a contraction, but it was going down. That means he was getting stressed, and that's when they called for an emergency C-section, and he was...
No. The guy comes, the doctor says, I think we should do this, and it's going to be really fast. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm sleeping. And I thought we were going to take the sweet time.
Yeah.
The moment that we say yes, I'm telling you, it was like cold purple.
It was cold purple.
And like people started running out of the place. Like people started running inside. They gave me like this like thing that I was supposed to wear. And I'm like so fat. I didn't even fit on the thing. I'm like trying to sit myself. I couldn't put my shoes on. So my mother-in-law is like crying and she's like flipping out. So anyway, finally after I put all that stuff on, I even told a nurse to help me out because like I'm telling you, I was like,
it was really tight.
Yeah, it was really tight on me. I look hilarious. And I walked inside. By the time that I walk inside, there's like I'm looking down on the floor and there's
a little graphic.
Yeah, there's like
blood
everywhere. Stacy's over there. I'm thinking that I'm back in the Marine Corps again in combat or something. I'm like, what is going on here? And I sit down next to Stacy, and they have like this sheet that goes like this, so she can see in the other side. And I sit down next to her, and I kind of hold her hand. And I said, baby, you know what? It's going to be okay.
And I was really cold.
And she was really cold.
Shaking so much because of all the medicine that they were giving me. And I was really cold and I was shaking. And they put like hot little heaters on me and blankets. And within
they were really nice. The guys did a really good job. They had a team that was just waiting on the baby to come out to work on him. And, I mean, everybody was, like, really nice. They're, like, cracking jokes in a way inside there.
And within 10 minutes, he was out.
Yeah.
And right before they sewed me up, they called in the x-ray people.
The x-ray dude.
I thought this was a joke. I thought they were joking when they said this. They're like, oh, we have to make sure we didn't leave anything in there. And I'm like, is this serious?
Yeah, they were serious.
It was serious. They had to make sure that nothing just dropped in there. And, with the baby, they were going to bring the baby back to the room, and they had asked him if he wanted to go back with them. He said, no, Grandma's in there. I'm going to stay with her. And then that's when we met him.
Yeah. And then by the time that we showed back to the room, he was like, Grandma was just like, you know.
Infatuated and crying.
With him and crying. And then Stacy actually met him. And we should because we have a lot of video of that. We should like actually make a video and actually show some of that stuff.
Yeah, make it a little.
Yeah, not everything because there were some parts there that we can't show, but
not even censored. I think.
Yeah, I don't even think. Like Stacy was so in medication, she was like. But it was an awesome experience. So after that, we spent 3 days in the.
No, 2. The policy was that we had to stay 3, but since the
Hurricane Matthew was coming.
Yeah, Hurricane Matthew was literally hitting the next day.
We should have named him Matthew.
I like that name.
Yeah, we should have made him Matthew.
And the next day, the hurricane was supposed to hit Jacksonville really... Oh, not that. Not that, buddy. Was supposed to hit really hard.
I still got to review that in the channel.
So it was supposed to hit really hard the next day. So they said, no, you have to go home to... make sure you guys are safe, and literally the next day the hurricane hit. Yeah. So we actually at some point during the baby being back, I went to the store just to buy a little bit more water, and the good thing is that we got that prepper mindset, so we have everything that we need here in the house. But we show back here to
The day we got here Friday around 3 p.m. or 2 p.m., the hurricane hit like at 5 o'clock, like 2 hours later. So we showed up here. We started like covering the windows with mattresses and all this. And obviously, you know, there's 2 more boys here in the house. My brother-in-law was here. My mother-in-law, sister-in-law. Now my father-in-law had to go.
Grandma's in the comments.
Oh, Grandma is in the comments.
Beautiful baby.
Yeah, Grandma is in the comments.
Grandma.
Say hi. I love you. I don't have to visit you. I could just see you in the camera. No, I'm just kidding.
She's not gonna like that
She's
one.
like, bring my baby over here. But yeah, the whole family was here except my father-in-law because he had to, you know, obviously his father passed away, so he had to go to Portugal.
He actually missed the baby's birth because in Portugal they don't have the means to preserve the bodies, I guess.
Yeah.
That's so you have to do the funeral very quickly. Mm-hmm. So they literally had the funeral the next day. So he did miss the birth, but he was back. What was that, a week or a week? Or
it was a crazy month because we have Manny. The hurricane hit, and if you guys remember, think about this. Stacy was home with a C-section, brand new baby, you know, a newborn.
With no power.
With no power for how many days?
In Florida, in the heat.
In the heat. I mean, it got so, with dogs.
It was about 4 or 5 days with, I think it was like 4 days with no power.
I think it was 4 days. Little brother actually found a generator, which soon we're going to buy a generator. We want to have a generator in the house. But he found a generator, so we were able to power the fridge and things like that, the cell phones. But, you know, overall, it was no AC. It was nothing. So, I mean, you're a trooper, baby. You know, I went back to my military time. I'm like, okay, whatever, no AC, I could deal with it. But, you know, with stitches and a baby, I mean, that's just not cool. So,
but we did have a lot of help.
Yeah. And then right after that too, our mother-in-law, which is in the comments, she got sick too, so she had to go to the hospital. So it was like, grandfather died, we have the baby. You know, great-grandfather died, we have the baby. Grandfather had to go to Portugal because of the situation. Grandmom goes into the hospital, and then grandfather comes back. I mean, it was a crazy month.
It was.
It was really crazy. It was epic. It was epic. So, October's coming up again, so I rebuke anything in Jesus' name that is going to happen in October. We're going to have a great October. That's what I'm going to say out of this.
I believe it.
I believe it, right? So, if you agree,
I'm not giving birth in October, so I guess that's out.
Not this October, maybe the next one.
No, I'm not pregnant. You're going to say that and people are going to think I'm pregnant. No, just
man.
one. All right.
So, anything else we have to say?
Crazy October. Do we have any comments, questions?
Crazy October. So, Abandon 12. Let's see. Hey, guys. Yeah, read this.
Hey guys, just got a couple of minutes to say hi. My last son had a blue cone head when he came out. I was like, what? I looked at the description and she was like, don't worry, that's normal. He did have a cone head because he was stuck in my canal for 3 hours. So he did have the cone head, even though he was C-section. So.
And
but yeah, it's
Bella said, miss you guys. Okay. Santos says, funny. That's Grandmom right there. So big shout out to Grandmom. And thank you so much to everybody that
for the watch it, Gustavo.
she's ready for the second one, right? I don't know if I'm ready, man. Milk is $27.99, and we go through milk like it's cool, man. Actually, we talked about it in the vlog, right? The one that's coming out, or the one that it came out already? The one that came out already, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Now that he's turning 9. I guess we're going into some type of different formula.
It's like a toddler formula, has more potassium and more things. So
whatever it is, all I know is that it's cheaper. It's about $7 cheaper. So that's going to be a great thing to go. But all right, appreciate everybody watching. If you guys definitely like this videos, you know, click like, share the videos, thumbs up, all that stuff. Let us know if you watch any of the videos. If you watch any the baby, bring the baby over here. If you watch any of the videos. Just put comments and let us know what kind of videos you guys want to watch. We really enjoy doing this.
Say bye.
And just, you know, doing this. It's fun because we can go back and see this video. Say bye, Chimito.
Say bye.
Say bye. Oh, shit, Dada. Dada? Oh? Dada? Dada?
Say bye.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
We see. Hey, did he say bye?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He
Bye.
tried.